Hey, welcome. If you've ever found yourself just staring at a wall of coffee makers, online or in a store, and feeling completely lost, you are definitely not alone. It's a question we all face. So today, we're going to dive in and try to make sense of it all together. It seems like it should be a simple question, right? What's the best way to brew coffee? But the truth is, it's kind of complicated. And more than that, it's really personal. There isn't one single best brewer for everyone, but I promise you, there is a best one for you. And that's our goal here. Think of us as your guide through this whole coffee maze. We're going to break down all the options into really simple, easy to understand groups so you can actually find the one that's your perfect match. So where do we start? Well, our quest for great coffee begins by understanding the main families of coffee brewing. If you can get your head around these basic ideas, all those different gadgets and gizmos you see out there will suddenly start to make a whole lot more sense. First up, we've got immersion. The concept here is super simple. The coffee grounds and the hot water just hang out together for a while. They steep. It's a lot like making a cup of tea. This method usually gives you these really rich, full-bodied coffees, and hey, it's pretty forgiving if you're just starting out. And the king of immersion has to be the French press. It's a true icon. I'm sure you've seen one everywhere. Its biggest strengths are that it's just so simple to use and you can easily make a big batch of coffee. So what's the catch? Well, the taste is really full, but it can get a little muddy, and you'll always have that little bit of fine sediment at the bottom of your cup. Okay, now for something really interesting, the clever dripper. It's this awesome hybrid. See, it starts out as an immersion brewer. The coffee and water just steep together. But then, when you place it on top of your mug, a little valve on the bottom opens up and boom, the coffee drains out through a paper filter. So you get the ease of immersion, but with the cleaner cup you'd get from a drip coffee. It's a really smart design. Next, let's look at a totally different way of thinking, pour over. So instead of everything just sitting together in the water, with pour over, the water actually flows through the coffee grounds. This whole method is really all about control and getting a super clean cup of coffee. This is really where the coffee artist gets to play. Brewers like the V60 or the beautiful Chemex give you incredible control over every part of the process. The result is this incredibly clean, clear cup of coffee where all those delicate, fruity, or floral notes can really shine. Of course, this is the hands-on manual side of things. The automated version is, that classic drip coffee machine you see in every office kitchen, which is all about convenience over control. But with the manual pour-over, that precision, well, it comes with a bit of a learning curve. It takes more practice, you need more gear, and it can be a little tricky to get it right every single time. All right, our third category is all about using a little bit of force to get the job done. Yeah, with pressure brewing, we're literally forcing water through the coffee. This makes everything happen way faster, and it creates this really strong, concentrated kind of a brew. And you have to meet the AeroPress. It's like the Swiss Army knife of coffee makers. You just use hand pressure to push the water through, and you get a cup of coffee in about a minute. It's nearly indestructible, super portable, and incredibly versatile. You can make everything from a short, strong shot to a bigger, cleaner cup. The only real catch? It only makes one cup at a time, and if you go online, whoa, there are a million different recipes, which can feel a little overwhelming when you first start. From a modern invention to a total classic, the mocha pot. This thing sits on your stovetop, right? Water boils in the bottom chamber, which creates steam pressure, and that pressure forces the water up through the coffee grounds into the top. It's pretty cool, actually. It makes this rich, strong coffee that is amazing if you're going to add milk. It looks fantastic, it'll last forever, but I'm going to be honest, it can be really tricky to get a perfect brew without it tasting a little bitter or burnt. And of course, you can't talk about pressure without talking about the big machines. This is really the ultimate showdown, quality versus convenience. On one side, you've got a real espresso machine. The taste can be absolutely incredible, the foundation for all your favorite cafe drinks. But man, it is a huge investment. We're talking money, counter space, and a steep learning curve. Then you've got capsule machines. They're just ridiculously easy and fast. But you're giving up freshness, creating more waste, and honestly, it's the most expensive way to buy coffee, gram for gram. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground here, right? From immersion to pour over to pressure. It feels like we should have a clear winner. But what if I told you we've been asking the wrong question this whole time? What if picking between these brewers isn't even the most important choice you have to make? Yep, before you even think about which brewer to buy, I gotta let you in on the biggest secret in coffee. And seriously, getting this is way more important than any piece of gear you could ever buy. And here it is. The single most important thing to the actual taste is what coffee you start with. Think about it. A coffee maker doesn't make flavor, it just extracts it from the beans. You can have the fanciest, most expensive machine in the world, but if you put bad coffee in, you're going to get bad coffee out. It really is that simple. So what should you be looking for when you buy beans? It really boils down to 3 things. First, quality. Try to find a local roaster that sells specialty grade coffee. Second, freshness. Look for a roasted on date on the bag, not an expiration date. And third, roast level. Light roasts really shine in a pour-over, while darker roasts can be fantastic in a French press. It's all about matching them up. And that brings us to surprise number 2. A good grinder is your most important tool. Seriously, if you're buying those awesome fresh beans, you have got to grind them right before you brew. That pre-ground stuff, it loses its flavor so fast. A good grinder is, hands down, the best money you will ever spend to make better coffee at home. Okay, so now that we've got the secrets out of the way, start with great beans and grind them fresh, now we can go back to that original question. Now that you understand the big picture, let's figure out which brewing style is perfect for you. Think about what kind of person you are. Are you someone who loves the process, the control, the whole ritual of it? You might be the ritualist, and you would probably love a pour-over. Or maybe you're always on the go and you need something tough and portable for your travels. That's the traveler. The AeroPress is going to be your best friend. What if you're brewing for a crowd, for your family, or when friends come over? You're the entertainer, and a good automatic drip machine is exactly what you need. And hey, what if you just want a great cup of coffee, like right now, with zero fuss? You're the pragmatist, and you really can't beat the convenience of capsules. See, the whole point is that the journey to a perfect cup is yours. It's not about finding the one best brewer that some expert tells you to buy. It's about finding the one that just fits. It fits your life, your taste, your mornings. So now that you're armed with all this info, you're the expert. The real question isn't what I think is best, it's what's your favorite way to brew.